nurse put the healthy baby next to her deceased twin and a real miracle happened. Catalina, a high school girl, had decided early on that she didn't want children. She focused on her education, becoming a dentist, and working with her parents. Her parents had educated her to become a dentist because it was also their profession and they were doing so well. That seemed logical to them, as their daughter would continue the legacy. They reasoned that since they had already traveled the path of labor and sacrifice, she would not miss anything if they did it this way. Her boyfriend, however, had other ideas and desired to have children in the future. Catalina always had her life planned, but what happened next changed her and her loved ones' lives forever. She hoped to meet a wonderful man to spend the rest of her life with after graduation and beginning to work with her parents. Despite enjoying them and getting along well with them, she was adamant that she did not want to have children. Catalina treasured her freedom and didn't want to witness a loved one suffer in this increasingly challenging society. She discovered that having everything supplied for her had made things appear difficult and demanding when she first moved out and started living alone at university. She had to pick up fundamental abilities like bill paying, housekeeping, and cooking. Catalina realized that her parents had never taught her how to survive on her own because of her newly discovered independence. She decided not to have children after realizing that caring for someone else would be harder if she found it difficult to care for herself. She had been in a relationship with her partner for a year as she approached graduation as a dentist and worked with her parents. He was adored by her parents and honestly seemed to be in love with her. Catalina's boyfriend, however, was unaware of her decision to avoid having children. Even though he didn't want children at the time, he hadn't given the matter much thought and had left it open for the future. Years later, after saying yes to his marriage proposal, Catalina admitted she had never wanted kids. He was immensely outraged by the news, so he pushed himself onto Catalina without taking any safety measures. Catalina fled to her parents' house in distress. She used emergency contraception but found out she was pregnant later. Her parents were reluctant to allow her boyfriend to pick her up the following day because they believed she had argued with him, despite the fact that she made no attempt to explain anything to them. They didn't take it seriously, but they didn't want their daughter to lose the chance to spend time with such a gentleman. They agreed to let him speak with her. He spoke to Catalina as if nothing had happened, asking if she wished to wait to formally announce their engagement to her parents or if they should tell them right now. She found what she was hearing to be unbelievable. There was no hope of them getting married after what he did the previous evening. She flung him outside while screaming and crying. She always knew motherhood was difficult, and she wasn't ready for it. She later discovered she was pregnant with twins. She went through a period of depression but eventually accepted her situation. Dealing with a pregnancy alone was going to be incredibly challenging and emotionally difficult for her. During an ultrasound, Catalina saw her twins holding hands in the womb, which brought her comfort and love for her unborn children. She embraced motherhood and prepared for their birth, hoping for the best despite her previous hardships. She wasn't emotionally or financially prepared to handle the responsibilities of parenthood. Everyone attempted to comfort Catalina and show her support, but it wasn't until she was just 1 month away from giving birth that she was able to accept her situation and adjust to the thought of becoming a mother. Catalina realized that she would adore them with all of her heart, just as she would, and that she could now anxiously anticipate their birth. However, Catalina had decided to give birth and was firm about it. After a smooth delivery, the doctor delivered the devastating news that one of the babies might not survive. The weaker baby had been born with a fragile heart, and his condition was deteriorating rapidly, while the other baby was healthy. Hearing this news, Catalina was overcome with grief. When the weaker baby was transported to the incubator, she was unable to even hold him in her arms. She could feel her healthy son's pain at being separated from his younger brother, with whom he had spent so much time in the womb, as she held him in her arms. Catalina was certain that her devotion would ensure the survival of her children. Her pregnancy was quite challenging. She was aware that it would not be simple. Catalina was devastated by the news and asked a nurse to bring the healthy baby and its twin to the incubator so they could say their final goodbyes. The doctors, however, rejected her idea. She was already emotionally and physically drained, and they couldn't risk her health. Catalina was moved to tears as she saw a miracle in a very tender moment. The strong infant managed to embrace his weaker sibling, seemingly giving his love and strength to him. Within minutes of the siblings' hug, the weaker baby's heart began to beat regularly once more, much to everyone's surprise. Catalina was finally able to leave the hospital with both babies in excellent condition after receiving treatment for a few more weeks. Catalina would always be grateful for her two children, since love had performed a miracle in their lives. She understood what a priceless gift they were and made a lifelong commitment to express gratitude for their welfare every day.